The Israelis told Yemenite Jews they needed to take their children to special camps for their health. When parents went to visit their children, they were told their children had died. The Zionists had their eyes on Yemeni Jews when planning the establishment of Israel, aiming to increase the Jewish population compared to Palestinians of other religions. They used the promise of the Promised Land to convince them. At that time, Yemeni Jews, whose number was estimated at about 55,000, lived peacefully in various regions of Yemen, including Sa'ada, Sana'a, Ib, Taz, Aden, and Hadramaut. They were well integrated into society and known for their trade and craftsmanship. The Zionists promised them job opportunities and financial benefits. Thousands of Yemeni Jews left Yemen after Israel's establishment in an operation called Magic Carpet. The Jewish Agency, which was the executive arm of the World Zionist Movement, worked on gathering Jews worldwide and transferring them to Israel. They were looking for someone to help them convince the Yemeni Jews to immigrate when they found a mediator named Hajj Ahmad al-Grady, who knew Yemeni Jews communities well. Al-Grady first stipulated that he must obtain approval from the ruler of Yemen at that time, Imam Ahmad Hamid ad-Din, before helping them, so as not to put himself in trouble. After getting approval from the Imam, Al-Ghuraydi began his mission in 1949, convincing many Jews to migrate to Israel with free flight, promised better lives and wealth. The mass exodus began, with elderly Jews carrying children and Torah scrolls. They were transported to camps in Aden and then flown to Israel. The operation continued until 1950, transferring about 49,000 Yemeni Jews through 380 flights. After arrival, Israeli authorities requested parents to send their children to stone houses, claiming it was for health protection. Parents were allowed limited visits for nursing. However, families were later told their children had died during treatment. In some cases, nurses dramatically removed children from their mothers during visits, claiming emergency medical examinations were needed. Days later, parents were told their children had died. Some families who escalated the issue had their children returned, surprisingly finding them in perfect health. However, most children disappeared completely, with no death certificates or bodies returned. The prevalent theory is that these children were forcibly adopted by Ashkenazi Jewish families from Europe, supported by testimonies from nurses who witnessed European Jewish women living with Yemeni children. Years later, some families accidentally received military service notices for their supposedly deceased children, leading Yemeni Jews to conclude their children were victims of a systematic kidnapping. Multiple investigation committees were formed, but none provided satisfactory answers. In 2016, Netanyahu acknowledged the committee's failure and in 2021 offered $40,000 compensation per family to silence the issue. The families refused compensation and continued to commemorate their missing children. Recently, Tisahi Hinkby, the minister in charge of investigating the Yemeni children case, admitted that the Israeli government kidnapped the children in the 1950s for adoption by childless Ashkenazi Jewish families, and that's the story of the Yemeni children affair, a painful chapter that remains unsolved to this day. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.